Being a new dad is hard. There are societal issues at play as our whole lives we've been expected to just know things. And now you're holding this mini version of you as you're thinking, oh, I've got to raise this thing. And then your role as a partner changes too. Before, you and your partner were like Shaq and Kobe, and now they've turned into LeBron while you're trying your best to be Dalton Connect. Being a new dad is like riding a roller coaster. The highs are high, and the lows will have you screaming like a baby. Oh, maybe that's just my experience as somebody who doesn't like roller coasters, but anyway, I hope you get the point. New dads will get all sorts of advice, a lot of which is suspect at best, which is why for episode 20 of Courtside Forever, I've got 20 pieces of advice for new dads that are practical and designed to make you feel seen in this crazy new stage of your life. So welcome to another episode of Courtside Forever, because as parents, we've got the best seats in the house. Let's enjoy them. So just a heads up, this list is by no means the most comprehensive list of anything you will ever read as a new dad. It's a good list, that is for sure. I put this together, so of course I'm going to say that. But ultimately, these are 20 steps, things that I've learned as a dad, things that I learned as a new dad, things that I was good at, things that I wasn't good at, and a little bit of everything in between. But ultimately, I've read so much from other men out there. I've talked to so many new dads, and they've all struggled with bits and pieces of this throughout their entire journey as a dad. So ultimately, that is where this list comes from. And without further ado, here it is, in no particular order. Number 1, never be afraid to step into your feelings. Feelings exist, and I don't know how we came to this place where men were told not to be emotional and keep their feelings in check. If your baby did something sweet and you want to cry, then cry. And if you are exhausted and you need to let out a good cry, then cry. Go for it. It's a beautiful time in your life, and I would be so bummed for you if you spend all of your time trying to hide these very real feelings that occur when becoming a dad for the first time. Number 2, be patient when it comes to bonding. Connection's not always going to happen instantly. I was able to connect with my first daughter right away, which made things relatively easier for me as a new dad. But my second daughter was a little tougher, and I felt hopeless, mainly because I thought I was doing something wrong. Every baby's going to be different, and bonding may or may not happen on the timeline that you have in your head. But as it will do for the rest of your life, continue to show up and be there for the moment when that connection starts to click. Number 3, don't worry about being perfect. Just be present. Guys have this need to get it right. I just watched an episode of Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson is making chairs for this new restaurant, and he's taking a sweet time because everything has to be perfect. Well, it's not how things work in fatherhood. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's part of the gig as a dad, especially a new one. So sometimes you just have to learn by doing it, because there is rarely ever a perfect time to get it right. Number 4, ask questions and ask them often. Have you ever listened to a conversation between two people and they just talk for an hour without a single question being asked? It's just statements and stories back and forth and reactions along the way. When you're a new dad, you can't just rely on statements and assumptions. To get answers, you gotta ask questions. And as dads, we're not gonna know everything, including what our partner needs in this season. So you know what? Ask them. Also, if you got other dads in your life who you look up to, ask them questions too. There is only power in gaining knowledge and avoiding avoidable hurdles. Number 5, make space for your identity. Recently, I did a whole episode about this, but there are dads who think your life is over once a baby comes. They have no idea what they are talking about. Sure, things do change, I'm not going to lie, but you're still the same person that your kid is going to need as they get older. Whatever your identity is, lean into it. You don't have to be the dad that gets the dad shoes on and the crisp polos if you don't want to be. Step into Babies R Us and a pair of off-white Jordan 11s and stay true to you. There are a billion different versions of dads out there. Make it a billion and one more. Number 6, give your partner emotional support. This is going to be a second Parks and Rec reference within this episode, so bear with me. But there's an episode where Chris Straker and Ann Perkins are having a baby, and Chris is probably the most positive man in the world, but he's trying to turn all of Ann's pregnancy pains into bright spots. But as anybody who's been pregnant can attest to, sometimes it just sucks. And after some tough love from his friends, that's what Chris learned. Listen, don't fix anything. Sometimes just say, that sucks. Number 7, make noise and get outside. I remember hearing this advice when I became a dad, and I thought there was no way this is for real. But I'm telling you, this advice is so for real. When Ray was 2 weeks old, we took her to my brother-in-law's birthday party at an indoor racetrack. Now, I wasn't next to the racetrack or anything like that, but it definitely was not quite in this place. Anyway, Ray slept throughout the entire event, and what's cool is that when we got home, and the dogs start barking, and things start to drop, and normal life happens, she wasn't used to this perfectly serene and quiet house. Be smart about it, of course, but live your life and bring your baby into your world. Number 8, reach out and ask for help. You don't have to carry this alone. In fact, you literally cannot do it. The concept, it takes a village, exists for a reason. And that reason's because life is so much better when it's done in community. Weird things are going to happen. You're going to have a lot of questions that you never thought in a million years that you would ever have to ask. So have no shame in asking friends and family for help. I can't speak for everyone, but most people have people in their lives who are dying to be of assistance to you. Number 9, pause first, react later. You're going to come across a lot of trying times as a new dad, whether that's struggles with a partner or struggles with your baby. Now, emotions can run high and throw in a lack of sleep, and this new parenting stage can be a disaster for relationships. Let me encourage you that when you're feeling tense and ready to react, pause and take a beat. Are we talking small potatoes or big potatoes here? Now, that line, that was from my wife. She's going to love that. Taking a minute to breathe can literally change your life. Maybe you get back into the real life and the room is still on fire. Hopefully not literally, of course, but if it is, you'll be in a better state of mind to respond in what's designed to be a stressful period of your life. Number 10, speak to your baby as much as you can. I absolutely hate when men say nothing good happens in the first year of fatherhood. First of all, that couldn't be further from the truth. There are all sorts of studies that show that when men talk to their babies, connection is strengthened. Sure, they don't speak back, but I promise you, they communicate. Sing to your baby, speak to your baby, read to your baby. These moments help build a connection for you and for your little one. Number 11, take shifts. Okay, so this advice isn't necessarily for everybody, but I'm saying it anyway. I don't care. When our girls were born, my wife and I would take shifts, and I would do the late and the early morning shifts because I have a little bit of a tough time going back to sleep once I'm already awake. Now, Allie's got no problem, so while intermittent sleep certainly is not ideal, it's what worked for us. She may have been up with one of the girls in the middle of the night, but when I woke up, Allie could sleep for a couple extra hours in the morning, as ultimately I got a couple extra hours of uninterrupted sleep. There's no need for both parents to be exhausted, and I genuinely feel that way. Now, some nights it did happen. It wasn't a hard rule or anything like that, but more of a general understanding, if that makes sense. If she said, hey, I need you at 3 a.m, listen, I am up, and vice versa. But taking shifts help both of us stay as fresh as possible in a season where, trust me, both of us needed it. Number 12, prep the bottles and other baby gear. Small things, big things, listen, everything's going to count. Whether you're prepping the bottles or folding the laundry, find the little things that you can do to help your family thrive. Don't expect any extra credit. That's not how any of this works. You did your job. Congrats. I love it. So if you're not feeding or recovering from creating a human being, step in where you're needed and keep that mental load as light as possible for your partner. Number 13, add your baby to your benefits package. Some places of work have a 30-day window to add your baby to insurance plans after they arrive. Now, every place is going to be different, but whatever you do, make sure your baby is covered. This might take just a couple minutes, but it's such an important thing to ensure that there are no hiccups down the line in a season with a million doctor's appointments. Number 14, which is related, check your paternity leave benefits. This one is so important. I know a lot of men who have no clue what the paternity benefits look like. Some don't have them through their job, but they might have some protections through the state. Now, some have these protections at work, but you have to be there for a certain amount of time before you can even access them. Whatever it is, contact your rep and talk to them about your benefits. Do your own research too, because listen, some of your reps might not have all the info you need, and dealing with work issues is the last thing that you want to deal with in the newborn stage. Trust me. So do the work as soon as possible to avoid any kind of issues down the line. Number 15, recognize your importance as a dad. Look, dads matter. I know we often take a backseat to moms and babies, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But we all have a role to play when it comes to raising a kid. In basketball, we love to show love to the star players for how they show up in the moments that matter most. That's great. But who do you think they play in practice? Who do you think pushes them to be better every single day? That person on the bench is putting in work that the world may not see, but the star player crumbles if not for the support of others. Not everyone's going to thrive in this scenario. Some dads want to be the star out the gate, and if that's the case, then that is too bad. But recognize your value in your role and be ready, because your value is much greater than you even know. And number 16, let go of idealized expectations. Accept what fatherhood really is, not just what you imagine it to be. Some dads saw themselves as the heroes and then find themselves folding onesies on a Tuesday night while watching Chicago PD. Others saw themselves kicking back in a season when they find themselves on an F1 track in a 2008 minivan. Take every day as it comes. Some days are going to be hard, some days are going to be a breeze, but welcome each day with the understanding that you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. And number 17, work out. I know how easy it is to stay inside and not necessarily take care of yourself in the season of life. There were days where I'd watch the sun go down and think, I don't think I got outside once today. Go for a walk, hit the gym, do a meditation session, whatever works best for you. But moving your body does wonders in the stage of parenting, and your future self will thank you for staying active, especially when that baby starts to walk, trust me. Number 18, apologize when you mess up. Look, stop being defensive. Nobody has time for all of that. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. You are going to be wrong, and that's when dealing with your partner and your baby. Acknowledge your faults. Acknowledge that you might be wrong. Even if the problem is 1% your fault, own it. Call it out and move forward with respect and love for learning and doing better. Number 19, take lots of pictures and videos. Today is the youngest your baby will ever be and the oldest they've ever been. Blink and your baby won't be a baby anymore. I know a lot of us feel like there's only about a dozen photos of us as kids, but today we've got phones that allow us to take photos whenever we want. But don't go crazy. Be present in the moment, as there is nothing sweeter than watching your baby figure out if they like smashed peas or not without fidgeting with your camera. But if you're with grandparents or a friend that you don't really see that often, take pictures and videos of them together in those special moments, because things tend to change much faster than we would like. And last but not least, number 20, treat yourself. That's right. Today I am ending this episode by giving you a third Parks and Rec reference. But for real, sneak in little treats throughout your day. I have the shower mister that smells like a sauna. I don't always use it, but when I do, I feel like I'm in a relaxing sauna, even just for a few minutes. It's the best. Get a couple Sour Patch Kids, add an extra pump of vanilla to your latte. You know what? Put the cozy pajamas on. Get crazy. Who cares? Find little ways to treat yourself throughout this week and show up well as a dad in this season. Thanks for being here for the 20th episode of Courtside Forever, where our goal is to ensure that parents enjoy the best seats in the house. If you enjoy this episode, share it with a friend or two, and feel free to reach out with any comments or questions. I'm your host, Ryan Rucker, and I appreciate you being here. Take care.